Happy New Year's Eve, guys! The Horror Man back with a controversial view of London After Midnight. Controversial View is the series in which Jason from Horrific Nightmares and I watch and discuss controversial movies. We cover various types of controversies, from subject matter to behind-the-scenes incidents and more. Today we have for you one of the most controversial movies we've ever covered. We were originally going to discuss this one earlier this year, but decided with a title like London After Midnight, it would be a perfect viewing for New Year's Eve. Of course, technically that makes it London Before Midnight. But last week for Holly Gialli Christmas, we reviewed You'll Die at Midnight, or Midnight Killer, also known as Midnight Horror. So this really is London After Midnight. We may also be continuing this midnight trend, but stay tuned. Directed by Todd Browning and starring Lon Chaney, London After Midnight is a 1927 silent horror film. Its controversy is the fact that it is infamous for being one of, if not the most highly sought-after, lost film of all time. Last year, Jason and I discussed The Day the Clown Cried, which is also one of the most highly sought-after lost movies. If that's not number one on that list, then London After Midnight certainly is. The interesting thing about this one is it wasn't lost for nearly 40 years. But then, unfortunately, in the mid-60s, the only remaining print of the film was destroyed in the MGM vault fire. Apparently, it was an electrical fire, leaving at least one person dead. Although to this day, there are still efforts to try and rediscover the movie, it seems all hope has been lost. What Jason and I have here is the full Reconstruction version. It's the most complete version of the film ever made available, and it will probably forever remain that way. See, guys, this is yet another reason why physical media matters. Of course, there wasn't physical media back then when the fire occurred. Had it existed, someone would have been able to restore London After Midnight. I will say, though, they did a great job with this reconstruction. Production stills were used, along with text screens, obviously, since it's a silent movie, and of course, a soundtrack. This reconstruction tells the story from start to finish. This is London After Midnight. This is the movie now as we will ever know it. I've always been fascinated with lost films and movies or TV episodes about lost films. The House on Cuckoo Lane comes to mind, and John Carpenter's Cigarette Burns. Those are two of my favorites on the subject. London After Midnight, though, is a real-life lost film. And, like I said, it might be the most highly sought after. This one specifically had been a rabbit hole movie for me. I was a bit obsessed with London After Midnight. I guess it's true what they say. You want what you can't have. I will say I'm glad to at least have this reconstruction version in my collection. I mean, it's not like there's another option. This is as good as it gets. It's crazy that it has such a following, even though no one will ever see it in its full form. There is even a London After Midnight NECA figure. This really could have been something special. And honestly, it still is, even in this form. It's Todd Browning, it's Lon Chaney, it's horror, it's awesome. It's a shame, because I'm sure many people haven't even seen this version. But Jason and I watched it, so you don't have to. This is just my controversial view. Please be sure to check out Jason's as well. What are your thoughts on London After Midnight? Comment below and let me know. Which controversial movie will we view next? Check back next year to find out. Until then, have a safe and fun New Year's Eve. And remember, physical media matters. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up and be kind. Subscribe.